My song's a minute 30.
Yeah, you in and
minute
out.
20. A don't want to do nothing but hear that one time, run it back.
The clip I just shared features rapper Boss Mandilo talking about why he releases shorter rap songs. This is a topic that deserves more attention because it reflects a bigger shift happening in the rap industry. His decision isn't just about what he likes, it's about how the music business works today, and it raises an important question about whether this trend is hurting rap as an art form. Short rap songs are becoming more common, mainly because of streaming platforms, social media, and the fact that people's attention spans are getting shorter. But what Boss Mandilo says brings a fresh angle to this discussion. He talks about the practical reasons for making shorter songs, but he also points out the downsides. In this video, I want to dive into why artists like Boss Mandilo feel they have to change their music like this. Is it just about surviving in an industry that cares more about numbers than real substance, or is there something deeper going on? Let's break down what he said and really dig into why this trend is happening. You've probably heard of Boss Mandilo by now. He's a 26-year-old rapper from Florida who's been blowing up in the hip-hop scene this year. Coming from humble beginnings, he's quickly making a name for himself with his unique style and approach to music. Honestly, I think he's one of the most standout new rappers out right now. Boss Mandilo's got that street rap vibe, which a lot of people are really into these days. But what makes him different is his focus on hustling and success, rather than just talking about violence. He reminds me of the late Young Dolph, R.I.P., who had a similar mindset. Personally, when I listen to street rappers, I'm drawn to those who rap about grinding and making money. Who doesn't love hearing about someone chasing their dreams and securing the bag? I recently caught an interview he did with Gilly and Wallow on their hip-hop podcast. He talked about why he prefers releasing short rap songs, and it really gave some insight into his thinking. The clip, originally shared by No Jumper, shows a different side of him and why he's making the choices he does in his music. This clip from Boss Mandilo's interview has been blowing up on Instagram and other platforms, sparking a ton of conversation. I want to talk about it because it ties right into the ongoing debate about whether rap is dying. Short rap songs, and short songs in general, are taking over the music industry. This trend is mostly driven by streaming platforms, where shorter tracks get replayed more often, which boosts an artist's numbers. It's a smart move that fits today's fast-paced world, where people want quick, easy-to-digest content instead of longer, more detailed tracks. In hip-hop, this trend really took off during the SoundCloud era. Remember when artists like XXXTentacion and Lil Pump started dropping super short songs that instantly blew up? Tracks like XXXTentacion's Look at Me and Lil Pump's Gucci Gang were super catchy and didn't even hit 3 minutes. Their short length made them easy to replay, which only added to their popularity. Short tracks have a way of getting people to hit replay again and again, boosting streaming numbers and helping artists climb the charts faster. Platforms like SoundCloud loved this kind. Here's a quick story to tie it all together. A couple of months ago, I was talking to a very successful underground artist who's been killing it in the streaming game. I was working on some music myself, so I sent him one of my tracks for feedback. The song had this long intro with a beautiful piano, a smooth bass line, and a nice build-up. So, the song had this smooth build-up, leading right into the hook, but the actual song didn't kick in until about the 30-second mark. I really liked how it came together, but of course, I wanted to hear another opinion. I reached out to a very successful artist who's made millions just from streaming. The first thing he said was, "Bro, you gotta cut that intro." He explained that if you have a 30-second build-up, you're losing listeners within the first 10 seconds. Now, this guy knows the streaming game, so I knew he wasn't just saying that for no reason. But I pushed back a little, asking why I should give up something that felt so creative. His response was simple but powerful: you just have to adapt. That conversation really stuck with me because it made me realize how the industry works now. It's not about just making art anymore. It's about understanding how to make your music work on platforms. For better or worse, that's how things are today. A lot of artists, especially rappers, get discouraged because they don't want to feel like they're sacrificing their creativity just to fit the system. But that's the reality of the music business now. For a lot of artists, music is a way to express themselves, and having to shorten intros, cut verses, or simplify songs to fit the current streaming trend can feel like they're losing part of their art. It's no longer just about making music that's true to you, it's about trying to fit in with what the algorithms or the latest trends want. But honestly, it really depends on the kind of music you're making. Take someone like Beat King, for example. Rest in peace to Justin Riley, by the way, he's truly missed. If you're making strip club anthems like he did, your tracks are probably going to be shorter. DJs in those spots want fast, catchy songs that get people hyped for a bit before moving on to the next hit. But in today's music world, the reality is that success often comes down to how well you can adjust to these changes. It's not just about creating a great song anymore, it's about making a song that fits with platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and TikTok. These platforms love songs that get people to engage, replay, and go viral. So while it might feel like you're compromising your creative side, understanding how to work with these platforms is actually how many artists are making a real impact now. It's all about balancing your art with the way people are listening today. Shorter songs are definitely the trend right now, and while some people see it as a sellout move, others view it as a smart way to stay relevant in today's music world. So, how do artists like Boss Mandilo stay true to their art while dealing with the fast-paced nature of music consumption? It's a tricky challenge that almost every artist faces. Here's the tough part. In today's industry, it's not just about making a song your fans will love anymore. It's about reaching a wider audience. The people who control the streams, likes, and shares are often just casual listeners, and they make snap decisions. They decide if a song's worth their time in the first 10 seconds. If they're not hooked right away, they skip to the next track. And here's where it gets interesting. The algorithm notices that. If people aren't engaging, it tells the system that the song isn't good enough, and it gets pushed aside. So, for artists, it's about finding the balance between making music they love and making music that catches the attention of the masses. It's a game, and the stakes are high. So here's the deal. A lot of artists are adapting because, let's face it, if you don't grab people's attention fast, they'll skip your song. Streaming platforms track this, and when listeners skip too soon, it hurts your track's chances of success. That's why many artists are cutting out long intros, jumping straight into the good parts, and keeping their songs short and to the point. It's all about grabbing attention and holding it long enough for people to get hooked. But here's where it gets tricky. While this method can really boost streaming numbers, it can also make artists feel like they're sacrificing creativity just to fit in with the trends. It's especially tough in hip-hop, where the focus is often on making something that resonates deeply. For artists like Boss Mandilo, it's about finding that balance, making songs that are short and catchy enough to get people's attention, but also staying true to who they are as creators. So, the big question is, how do artists stay true to their unique style while playing by the rules of a streaming world that values instant hits? It's a tough challenge, but it's also the reality of today's music industry. In today's fast-paced world, everything moves so quickly. We live in what some call the microwave era, where we want things done instantly. The younger generation grew up on platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels, where you get your entertainment in just seconds. Because of that, people don't have the patience for long, drawn-out content anymore. And guess what? This same mindset is affecting how we listen to music too, but it's not just music. It's about content creation as a whole. If you've ever tried building an audience on TikTok or Instagram with those 30-second videos, you know that it can be tough to get those viewers to stick around for longer videos. Why? Because these platforms train us to want quick and easy content. Asking people to sit through something longer can feel like a challenge. For creators like me, or anyone who focuses on making long-form content, this change in how people consume things can feel like a real struggle. But it's the reality we all face. So, how do we adapt and keep our audience engaged without losing the essence of what we do? That's the big question now. Long-form content can actually be easier to break down into shorter bits if needed. Here's why. People who enjoy longer, deeper content tend to be more invested and engaged. They're willing to stick around because the message connects with them. That connection helps when you want to branch out to other platforms or formats. IT shows how important it is to really know your audience and understand what type of content they like. Whether you're an artist, a content creator, or doing both, finding a balance between quick, short content and deeper, longer content is key to keeping your fan base strong in today's fast-moving digital world. For me, it's easier to keep people coming back with long-form content because the impact sticks with them longer. I get to share more, dive deeper, and create a lasting connection that goes beyond just a quick glance. But everyone has their own way of doing things. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's totally fine. The most important thing is finding what clicks with your audience. Let's be real for a minute. Both approaches to making music have their strengths, but the big question is, which one truly leaves a lasting impression? And which one fades away after the hype dies down? Take artists like Kendrick Lamar and Drake. These guys have carved out their own lane in the music game, and the key to their success is the depth they put into their music. They don't just make songs for a quick listen and forget. They hit their audience right in the heart and mind. Kendrick with his deep, thought-provoking stories, and Drake with his raw, emotional lyrics that we can all relate to. It's this deeper connection that turns casual listeners into die-hard fans. They've mastered the art of making music that sticks with you. And here's the interesting part. Neither Kendrick nor Drake is known for dropping super short tracks, but they've still reached massive success. That shows you don't need to rely on quick, short songs to make a lasting impact. You can take your time, go deep, and still have a huge influence. So, what's the takeaway here? Sometimes, it's not about keeping things short and fast. It's about creating something real and meaningful that will resonate long after the song ends. In today's music world, it's almost a must to follow the algorithm if you want to succeed. Take artists like Drake and Kendrick Lamar, for example. They came up during a time when streaming and algorithms weren't as big as they are now. But their success proves that emotional depth, like Drake's relatable songs, and substance, like Kendrick's meaningful lyrics, can still stand out, even when trends change. Both of these artists have one thing in common: they connect with their listeners on a deeper level. They don't just make music that's popular for the moment, they make music that hits people where it counts. And that's what keeps their fans loyal and makes their music timeless. Now, Boss Man Do, on the other hand, is doing something different. He's figured out the secret to success in today's music world. He's paying attention to what works, staying smart about it, and acting on it. He's built momentum by staying in tune with what listeners want right now. That's why he's rising in the game. But here's the catch. Sometimes taking the righteous path, staying true to your art, and pouring your heart into music can feel harder. You might not get the same quick results that trendy songs bring, but in the long run, it's the music that goes deep and stays with people that leaves a real impact. In the end, both approaches can work, but it's important to remember that making music that connects with people on a deeper level is what lasts. So, whether you're chasing trends or sticking to your roots, it's all about making something that resonates. Originality often makes it harder to hit the big time. The truth is, the music industry tends to reward what's popular right now, rather than what will stand the test of time. So, did Boss Man Do expose the reason rap might be dying? You be the judge. If you've stuck with me this far, it means you're enjoying the conversation, so why not drop a like? And if you're new here, I'm Blacka Speaks. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the family, and thanks for subscribing. Now, what do you think? Do you agree with Boss Man Do's point about why rap is struggling? This is one of the big topics that always keeps us talking, so I really want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.